Case debate starting with ableism.
Yep, and then yeah, back to the top. All right.
Can I take a second to grab? Sorry.
Sure. Yes, sir.
It was like 5
Okay.
seconds.
We're good? Ableist metaphor should be rejected. The use of bias is not neutral. It's a violent way in terms of equates knowing, intelligence, or forward thinking. They literally define it as a form of backwardness, of not thinking. It's reliant on sight and ocular essentials. That's our main and very secondly conceded argument that we made it a problem by pointing out. It's not the same thing as the Tea Partiers who get angry for people who pull a race card, even if they win their no-link arguments that the scriptocentrism criticism is bad. This is a significant reason to vote negative. They couldn't just apologize and cross-act, but instead flippantly dismiss this argument, which is exactly how structures of ableist violence continue uncontested. This is a gateway issue, and independent voters in turning the ballots. This tends to discourage the continued preparation of ableist rhetoric. This debate space and community at large creates a form of exclusion based ultimately on activity of communication and persuasion. Using ableist metaphors as a mechanism for persuasion only serves to reify violence. This argument operates on a different argument of register than the rest of the debate because it's at the level of discourse, which is a prerequisite to evaluating the rest of the flow. Rejection usually is crucial to develop new grammars for articulating things like blindness, which can't occur without the ballot because of it is class activity and ground in public discourse. Critical thinking. This must be voting as you bet most. And basically, commonly with disabled people to know deficiency we produce repression. As educators, we must be aware of the oppressive power of language. Continued use of disabling language perpetuates misconceptions. Disabling language accepts the presumption that disabilities are bad. They're invisible. That disabilities belong to the other. Using oppressive language to note the deficiency reproduces the same hierarchy and power relations in the classroom. Renders these phrases unproblematic. Language shapes reality. Turns any pedagogical value don't want to see main theory and five particular scripture practice the pedagogical phrase reference illustrate the possibility of transforming inclusion rather than a cure for language use. We are suggesting mean or nuances using of language. Do not characterize people with disabilities in one-dimensional ways. Language does not reflect reality, but constructs in order to promote changes in social relations. Must create new ways of linking our experiences, accepting our differences, and routine ambiguous intersubjective ethic between self and other. They say that form of education. The argument is that this is just nitpicking is precisely our argument. This is how violence continues. There's a long history of people using extremely offensive language towards marginalized communities and using the stop nitpicking and focus on what's important as the justification for completely ignoring this violence. This largely takes out most of their defensive arguments. They say skip prescriptive centers, and what else would we focus on? Debate is ultimately about persuasion. We should be extremely concerned with the ethos and pathos of our persuasion, that the persuasive and communicative strategy for debate that reflect ableism ought to be rejected. Now, blackness, structural disability is not responsive to our argument. Disability is obviously complex and multifaceted with multiple intersections of race, gender, capitalism, anthropocentrism, heteronormativity, and other structures of violence. But our argument operates at the register of discourse and language, which is prerequisites to determining the material implications of the rest of the debate. Now, they say they resolve. Now, go back to the top of the case debate. They say they resolve and reversal white gaze, or is this psychic violence? No explanation of how this happens. 1AC cross-sex. He says the 1AC doesn't produce any value nor produces politics, which means that there can't be any reversibility. There's no calculus or psychic violence in the 2AC that's outweighed by the 2AC. Don't let it appear brand new. And the 2 are their framework for the ballot is arbitrary and self-serving. It will always be written in such a way that makes it impossible to have a negative and necessarily excludes the negative, which will internal in turn their coalition building arguments that they're making later in the debate. Their poetry may be good, but it's a question of how poetry gets interpolated. Victim blaming is the last argument in 2AC, but given how much a part of cross-sex is, I'll answer it up here. Extend our quasi-evidence. Victim blaming is the opposite of our argument. Argument is instead within university spaces, which yes, we've already recognized are not neutral sites, do violence. The argument is instead we should formulate new ways of performance and new ways of encountering politics of recognition, new ways of doing poetry that now rely on the universities, the site for production of those norms. Our quasi-evidence makes the argument that the recentering of aesthetics and performance is the center of evaluation can only deny any sort sort of possibility and transformative potential of the embodied subject. Instead, it recenters both the white male gaze in the context of the performance and this debate round, but also recenters the university as the privileged site for interaction and exchange. So they made three arguments. First was that resolving issues of visibility. This is obviously a link to our argument. This is liberalism par excellence, or Occupy UC Berkeley evidence in case that the university's already cite social death, but more importantly, to try to breathe life into the university is precisely what allows capitalism to circulate. Their commodification inevitable evidence is very good on the question of it being impossible to ever take back the university. Then why is the 1AC trying to do that? If they're not trying to do that, if there's no transformative or valid potential to the 1AC, that is not victim blaming, but instead just the reason you vote negative on presumption. They say coalition building. How does the F do this? Especially when they're perpetuating random tropes, especially when they're perpetuating ableist tropes, denying the possibility of any sort of mutual interaction or dialogue with their framework for the ballot. And also, there's no explanation of this in the 2AC. You should allow new to responses. Third argument is this self-determination argument. This is just another reframing of recognition or quasi-evidence in case that the pathos and power that comes along with performance makes us feel it affects us and makes us think that we are actually doing something. It is just like when we go to a new movie theater and watch a movie about blackness, instead of watching Django Unchained and believing because we watched the film that we have actually done something. The coterie must be political arguments. They double turn with the rest of the way they're describing the 1AC and the rest of the debate. Either it is political or it's not. They can't have it both ways.
Did not just say that.
802, right?
Yep.